The Kenya Broadcasting Corporation KBC, in collaboration with the National Construction Authority NCA, has rolled out a public sensitization campaign in a bid to increase the level of adherence to building standards and regulations in the country. The official flag-off has just happened at the California Resource Center in Eastleigh, Nairobi County. I do understand that our senior business reporter Regina Manyara now joins us. Regina, if you can hear me, good afternoon. What is the latest between the cooperation between KBC and NCA?
Good morning. We're coming to you live from Calif here, where KBC Channel 1 is partnering with the National Construction Authority to raise public awareness when it comes to matters of safety around the building and construction sector. And taking us through this conversation is none other than Engineer Maurice Okech, who's in charge of matters of safety as well as the Executive Director of the National Construction Authority. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
So tell us, we have had an increased cases, in collapsed building and such. From where you sit, what is the missing link in all this?
Well, National Construction Authority is charged with the responsibility of oversighting and coordinating the development of construction industry in Kenya. One of our roles is to ensure that for a building or any construction to take place, there must be a licensed contractor, there must be an accredited construction worker and site supervisor, and the project must also be registered, meaning that the project must have met all the statutory requirements, including if it's a building, county approval, must have an engineer on board who is responsible for that construction, and must also have a licensed contractor, as well as ensuring that it has an architect for a case of a building. Or for any other project, the professional must be commensurate with the scope of work to be done. Now, from time to time, and when incidents of collapse occur, inquiries are done, and the things that have come out strongly when an inquiry and finding is in place is the fact that some of these projects are not properly supervised. Some of them have also not followed the rules, and they're not compliant, in the sense that you find a building approved for a certain number of floors, maybe 3. There is that impunity where someone increases additional floors without due regard to the existing foundation and existing support structure or support system. The other issue is issues of substandard material, and all these things is what we are now putting together to say that we must tell all stakeholders and the public that for you to get the right product, a building, whatever project you are doing, you must ensure you do it through proper standards. And that's why we are here to promote issues of safety in construction industry in Kenya.
Now, sir, how many quack contractors that you've mentioned has NCA prosecuted so far?
Well, a quack contractor is a contractor who is not registered. So if you're not registered, basically you're not a contractor. For the contractors whom we have investigated and found to be culpable, I want to indicate that so far, for the last 5 years, we have actually taken action against 18 contractors. Some of those contractors have been suspended for a period of 3 years. Remember, when you're suspended, you have no business in construction, which means if that was the source of your livelihood, you have to look for something else. Some have been suspended for 2 years, that's 24 months. Some have been suspended for 6 months. Some have also been cautioned, depending on the level of culpability. So this is what we have done to the contractors who have been investigated and found to have been culpable on the incidents that have occurred in their jurisdiction. And for an investigation to be done on a contractor inquiry, it's not just a collapse. It could be a misconduct in terms of either not delivering a project as per the expectation of the employer or the developer, and then maybe they are reported to us, then we take action against them. So it's bordering on so many misconduct issues that a contractor may be engaged in. Yeah.
Now, sir, there's been a conversation around having, or rather lack of skilled labor within this particular value chain, where we are having this sector infiltrated by foreign contractors. What is your take? What is the current mix when it comes to the building and construction sector, local versus foreign contractors?
Well, we have also a mandate to register foreign contractors. Remember, for any person to conduct any business construction, they must be licensed by a National Construction Authority. So for foreign contractors, we only license them on the basis of having been awarded a contract. A foreign contractor cannot come and say that they have a license for NCA and waiting for a job to bid. We license them on a job-by-job basis, on a contract-by-contract basis. And when they come, there is a requirement that before we issue a license to a foreign contractor, they must identify within the local content a contractor whom they can partner with in terms of joint ventureship, in terms of subcontracting, to the tune of minimum 30% of that contract before we issue the license. And this means, this gives opportunity for what we call skills transfer, technology transfer to our local contractor, so that by the time the project is over, we have a local contractor who has also trained or been onboarded on those skills and those new technologies. Now, the issue of about the ratio of local versus foreign contractors are very small. In fact, it's less than 1% of the entire construction contractors we have licensed. We have about 50,000+ contractors in Kenya. For foreign contractors, they're just shy of about 150 or thereabout. So it's a very small number, and they're based on project basis.
So what would you term as your greatest achievement as NCA to date?
Well, of course, Regina will be joining us a little bit later on with a comprehensive package in terms of the cooperation between NCA and KBC. To other news now, Kenya Power has implemented a rapid result initiative that will see accelerated meter installation for new connections and replacement of faulty meters after they received over 300,000 new meters that had been delayed due to a pending court case of a procurement. Now, the managing director,